friends, it's Janelle with Authentic Retail Results with another Retail Minute coming at you. So today I wanted to talk about pre-editing the sale or not pre-editing the sale. And it's one of the most common and honestly the most expensive mistakes that I see in retail stores. So this is when teams prejudge the sale. And the tricky part is they don't even realize that they're doing it. So what this is when a sales associate decides what to show a customer based on what they themselves would spend. And that is instead of really letting the customer choose. So instead of presenting the best option for the customer, they edit the selection and only show them things that they themselves would buy. Okay, so they'll say something like, oh, this one's a bit expensive, or they'll steer customers to a cheaper option, just in case, or they won't even mention a higher priced item at all. Okay, and in their head, they're thinking, well, I wouldn't pay that much for that, so the customer probably won't either. And it feels like good service, but it's actually not. Because when we do this, we're making assumptions. We're making assumptions about someone else's budget, what their priorities are, and worst, this is one that I have the biggest problem with, is the other person's definition of value. Okay? And we're doing that with almost no information. But here's the truth. It is not your job to decide what the customer can afford. It is your job to show them what's possible. So why this matters is when our team pre-edits the sale, we're essentially deciding for the customer. We're limiting the options that the customer sees, and frankly, we're probably ending up holding back on what is actually the best option for that customer. Okay? We're missing out on opportunities to actually solve their needs properly. And we leave a lot of money on the table when we do this. And here's the kicker. A lot of the time, the customer would have happily bought that higher priced item. They just didn't know it ever existed. So this isn't about pushing product. This is about service. If there's a better option for your customer, whether that's a better fit, whether it is longer lasting, whether it's better quality, they deserve to know about it. And then when we don't show it, it's actually doing that customer a disservice. So here's one really simple thing that we can do in store, and we can do this with our team right away. So instead of saying, hey, this one's kind of expensive, train them to say, this is one of our best options for whatever purpose. Or if you're looking for something to last, I'd recommend this item. Or be totally upfront with the customer and say, if a more premium option is the right fit for you, I'd recommend, and then show them that product. Okay? From a business perspective, this habit of pre-editing the sale, it lowers our average transaction value or volume. It reduces our units per transaction in a lot of cases because our associates are not comfortable suggesting that additional item because they're thinking, well, I have a budget of whatever amount. And it skews our inventory performance. And that's because our best products, they're not even being presented consistently. So the interesting thing about editing or pre-editing the sale is what's going on underneath. So the psychology of our associates, they're actually trying to be respectful. They're trying to avoid looking pushy, and they're staying in their comfort zone. So it's not a performance issue. This is a training issue and a permission issue. Okay? So a simple exercise that you can do with your team is have them pick 3 higher priced items in the store. Okay? And for each item, I would like you to have your team practice explaining who this item is for, why it's worth it, aka what could the value possibly be to anyone, not just the associate, and what problem it solves. Confidence doesn't come from price. It comes from understanding value. And like I said, value looks different from one person to the next. So at the end of the day, Your customers, they don't need you to filter for them. They need you to guide them. And if this is something you're seeing in your store, reach out to us. We can help you with how to train your team on this and make a big difference with respect to editing or not pre-editing your products for your customer. Happy retailing!